Thank you. Good evening and good morning to all our guests. And good evening, Anuragji. It's a pleasure and an honor to have this conversation with you today. First, congratulations to you on your new responsibilities. Both INB and sports really do touch every Indian almost every day, many times a day. You and your team work tirelessly in both these ministries to keep billions of us informed credibly every day. But above all, the stories that get told through this medium, be it in films or drama or sports or news, really inspire us. So thank you for steering a set of ministries. It inspires billions of Indians every day. Uh, Let me start by asking you your thoughts as the INB minister. The outbreak of pandemic has really been tough for all of us, both for lives and livelihoods. The industries also were hit badly, and media and entertainment is no exception to that. But having said that, the significance of this sector has been underlined more than ever during this time, as people have turned to more in home entertainment in these months. There are many more screens where people are watching stories in India, be it movies or sports or drama. Recent studies also reveal that this sector is stated to generate more than 8 million jobs by 2025. Given the opportunities and challenges both, we'd be keen to hear thoughts, uh, Anuragji, about your priorities for information and broadcasting ministry.
Nikardi. Thank you, Sanjay ji. Thank you for inviting me to address the members of US-India Strategic Partnership Forum. When Mukesh Aghi ji and I met a couple of weeks ago, we agreed that there was a huge potential for collaboration and opportunities in India. And since many of you follow India closely, you would have seen the historic reforms undertaken by Modi government, even during the COVID-19 pandemic. You would have also seen a paradigm shift in how government functions and responds. India is open for business, and in every sector, there are opportunities and possibilities. I will share some of the sectors going forward in our conversation today. But more importantly, I look forward to hearing from you and your members the new ideas which lead to innovative solutions. New India is all about fueling the next big idea, the next big collaboration, and the next big solution that makes our lives better and improves the livelihoods of our people. And as you know, and you touched upon during your opening remarks, that sports is a great enabler, whereas it touches millions of Indian youth. At the same time, millions of them who are watching them online or on TV. On the other hand, the Information Broadcasting Ministry also plays the nodal role of dissemination of information about the various policies, initiatives, and schemes of the government to the citizens. And even during the pandemic, as you rightly said, on one hand, there was a lot of responsibility to spread the right information among the people. On the other hand, there was a huge challenge to counter the misinformation or the false narrative or the maybe false propaganda. So as a citizen, as a minister, that was also a challenge. On one hand, how to counter that. On the other hand, it was a challenge how to reach out to the masses into the nook and corner of India and to spread the right information. And my focus as a minister is on citizen centric communication in a very synchronized and transparent and real time manner across media and social media landscape in the country. And let me say this, that our focus is also to ensure communication to the last mile in various regional languages. As you know that it is not like other countries that you have one language. Here you have many languages and hundred of dialects as well. So that's a challenge. So I think it is very important to communicate in different languages into the different regions. Modi government firmly believes that the right information empowers citizens to make the right decisions. And this is only amplify the various social and financial empowerment initiatives that we have already taken. And as I said, tackling fake news is a big challenge. From the ice age, millions of years ago, we are in the infodemic age today. And the pandemic situation has aggravated this issue the world over. I was addressing some couple of days back at another international forum, and I could hear it from various other stakeholders that how they have been facing the same challenges across the globe. So the government of India has responded to the challenges of fake news and fake narratives through swift and clear communication based on science and facts during this pandemic period. And there are many other issues which I can discuss with you, but let me leave it to you so that if you have any other questions, I can respond to that. India is celebrating the 75th years of independence, which we are calling Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So what we have achieved in the last 75 years, how the journey has been so far, and how we can project where India aims to be in the 100th year when we will be celebrating our centenary celebrations. So it could be the sharing of success stories of India abroad as an information broadcasting minister. When I used to travel to US way back in 1997, when I first visited the Chicago for my trade fair at McCormick Place, Chicago. That was in the month of August when I read the newspaper. It was during the India's Independence Day. They used to call India as a country of snake charmers and beggars. We are no longer the land of snake charmers. We are the land of laptops, billion-dollar unicorns, a marketplace that every global brand wishes to enter. We are a young and growing skilled workforce, and we are a democratic nation driven by the aspiration of 1 billion. And with that comes demand. And India's marketplace is both offline and online. And this is a saying now, if it works in India, it will work anywhere in the world. And that's true. Your business may be in tech or any other areas. So here is the opportunity. So I invite all of you. You can look at various opportunities, whether it is in the online stream or offline, in the sports or into the education or in the media and entertainment, which is the growing sector now.
Thank you, Anuragji. Those are really, really powerful thoughts. At Google also, we have learned that when we solve for India, we solve for the world. And actually, that's one of the learning that we have carried as we invested time and money to build Google Pay, which are now rolling out globally after being very successful in India. So let me move gears and ask you about that India is the land of storytellers, where we have told the biggest stories of the world in Mahabharata or Ramayana. And now today we have across languages some of the most powerful storytellers of the world here, be it our writers, directors, cameramen, editors. Equally, as you rightly said, we have some of the best technology people shaping the digital ecosystem for the world actually from India at this point of time. With everything going digital, our stories can travel to every part of the world, every corner of the world. Equally, India has emerged as a popular destination for foreign producers to shoot content in. So I have two questions for you. How do you plan to support and grow the creative industries, both traditional and emerging? And how can we attract more foreign producers to take advantage of Indian locations and equally Indian talent?
Sanjay, you have been associated with this field earlier in your earlier role also, and when you were part of that role, you have been successfully covering the most popular cricket leagues of the country. I mean, globally, that was one of the most popular leagues. And I think you have asked a very important question, and one of our focus areas. India being the largest producer of feature films across the world, has been a global leader in the traditional creative sector. India has also the second largest pay TV market in the world in terms of subscribers and growing at the rate of 7.5% year-on-year basis. And our ministry is supporting the generation of creative content to facilitate ease of doing business, building capacity through skill development, and creating the last mile market, whether it is through the National Film Development Corporation or the film division, or whether it is the promotion of the creative content through the participation in the international film festivals abroad, and also our very own promotion of content through holding the film festival in India, which is the International Film Festival of India, as well as the BRICS Film Festival. And if you're a film buff and keeping an eye on the IFFI this year, you should have, you should track that. There will be new aspects and opportunities that will interest you. And let me also share that just a few days ago, I personally inaugurated the Himalayan Film Festival. That was the first edition, which covered the films from 12 Himalayan states. On the International Film Festival, that will be a bigger platform from not only from the India, but the film from overseas will also be displayed and a platform could be given. So there are a lot of opportunities. If you see, India, as you said, that India is a land of storytellers, and our tales have captured the imagination of the world. Modi government is determined to make India the content subcontinent of the world. And we are already doing world-class post-production for films around the world. We already have the film facilitation office, and the film and felicitation and the film and the entertainment industry has a huge employment opportunities here in India. And for the global players also, it could be very competitive and it could be technology driven also. So not only the post-production element could come here, but the shooting could also happen here, where many states are coming forward to encourage the film shooting in the states. So we have also taken a lot of steps to support, connect, and promote this aspect. And one of them includes recognition of creativity through the National Film Awards. We also promote exchange of content with other countries through audio, video, co-production agreements, and our film training institutes, FTII and SRFTI, run regular as well as short-term courses for the skill upgradation in films and the TV sector. In fact, 100% FDI is allowed in the film sector now. So there is huge opportunity, as I earlier said, that new platforms like the new areas, OTT, animation, VFX, gaming, and comics, which we generally call the ABGC sector. India is currently the world's fastest growing OTT streaming market and is likely to grow at an estimated rate of, say, about 28.6% in the next 4 years. So there is a huge opportunity here. Apart from that, to support the emerging ABCG sector, there is a need to build an ecosystem of the skilled workforce. And as a government, we are developing an institute of excellence and center of excellence for animation, visual effects, gaming, and comic. So I think there is huge opportunities in these two areas, traditional as well as the new platforms, OTT, gaming, or the visual effects. So I think post-COVID, there are huge possibilities for the use of technology, and pre-COVID, 11 production from US sought permission to film in India. And I'm sure we could see a lot of people coming back to India post-COVID, as some of the notable US projects that filmed in India in the last few years were Tenant, White Tiger, The Bear, Extraction, and Skater Girl, etc. So I see a huge opportunity, I think, but the issue is how we can join hands. As Prime Minister Modi rightly, while during his visit to US, has mentioned about people-to-people contact, government-to-government contact, and corporate-to-corporate contact. So I think there's a huge opportunity in this sector of media and entertainment.
Thank you. That is very, very powerful plans. And I do think I'm excited about the idea, as you had said, having worked in this sector deeply for more than a decade, that India could potentially become the cultural capital of the world. Let me switch gears now and talk about sports, something which is very close to your heart. You have been a former sports person and administrator yourself, and Tokyo has really inspired all of us. both in Olympics and Paralympics. We produced the richest ever haul in the history of this country with 7 and 19 medals respectively, our best ever. So I would like to ask you, what are your thoughts around what drove the success in the Olympics this time? And what will be your thoughts on evolving sports given your sports experience in India as we move forward?
See, because of shortage of time with you, let me keep it very precise that our strategy was one was on the target Olympic podium scheme, where we've identified the elite athletes and trained them globally and locally, and also looked after their needs from boarding, lodging to the training. All those expenses have been taken care of by the government of India, and where the Prime Minister himself was so involved even before the departure of the athletes, speaking to them personally and to their families as well, building their morale and uplifting their spirits and not putting pressure on them. When they came back with the medals, he himself called them over a cup of tea, but spent more than 2.5 hours with Paralympians and Olympians both. So that clearly shows when from the top, if you have that kind of involvement with the athletes, the country is bound to do well. So what we are going to do now is to focus more on the scientific side, a better coaching facilities here and better infrastructure, but also at the same time, we are asking corporates to come forward and adopt one game. We are asking states to pick 1 to 3 games so that they should focus on those 1 or 3 games so that we can win more medals in the coming times, whether it is Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, or the Olympics Games in 2024 or 2028. So it was catering to each athlete, whether they're injured, then they have been sent abroad or locally and have been taken care well by the physiotherapist, psychologist, and even the biomechanic. So we have actually worked from one athlete to another athlete very in person. One request I have to make here is I would like to seek your suggestion and your help to tie up with your top institutes in US so that we can train our athletes here as well in partnership with the US, either universities or such institutes. And apart than that, how corporates can also adopt one game so that we can train them well for the future events. As we have seen in US, 127 medals were won by the universities. Here in India, that is not the case. What we can do in that regard, that is one of my requests to you. And the second is on the media and entertainment side, how we can join hands and India could become the content subcontinent of the world.
Thank you. I really, really powerful. I do think, as you rightly say, we need to take sports to every child in this country. They should participate, play, and therefore get inspired. And that brings me to the last question, given the time that we have right now. In my earlier role as star in Disney as well, we are involved in bringing sports to every household in this country. But when we look at and go deeper, we realize that one of the biggest challenges has been access to sports, both in terms of playing or even viewing and experiencing. Now, technology is playing, as you earlier said, a very important role in our lives in changing the way we consume sports and the way we play sports as well. Now, keeping that in mind, what would be your thoughts on how do you want technology companies or startups in this country to enable and to reduce this big limitation that we have for our children to access sports and enjoy sports in this country?
I think digital is here to stay. And in every field of life, we have seen that during the pandemic also, it was the virtual conferences which has helped. It is through the use of technology we could deliver better. And I think it is but natural that it will make its way into sports as well. However, having said that, sports is traditionally viewed as an on-field activity, but with the times that is changing because the younger generation is more attuned to pursuing hobbies, education, and even the social interaction on the digital platforms now. And e-support will also gain popularity in time. Health and fitness have a direct impact on GDP, and that can't be ignored either. And technology-aided training can be a good way to improve the quality of training that we impart. And I've seen that change. I also see technology as an enabler. and for an athlete to able to compare his or her performance vis-a-vis other athletes in other countries, to be able to use technology along with the sports science to plan their training, these could be great contributions. So I personally feel technology is a great enabler, as we have recently launched the Fit India mobile app. It also, this Fit India app also gives you the fitness score. So yes, there are immense opportunities to collaborate, whether for the Fit India mobile app or other fitness regimes, or for the sports, or bringing more competitiveness into the sports. And I personally feel there are huge uh, areas to join hands and work. Indian IT software capabilities is known to the world, but we want to use that in the sports as well. And I think we can learn from your experiences from the US, and somewhere we can partner to train our athletes to that level. And
Thank you.
few
Thank you
areas where
very
you
much for
can
your
grow new games. There are new areas for to grow. You have seen it successfully happening in cricket, where Disney Star used to uh, broadcast that in a big way, and that online application of your Hotstar app did extremely well during that time. Also, millions of people used to see that. So I personally feel technology is going to play a very big role in the coming times. And I'm sure these games could be made more popular with the use of technology, more viewership, a larger contribution to bring more people into the sports, not only for entertainment, but also for their participation as well as a player.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your thoughts, Anuragji. It's a pleasure to talk to you. I think these are really powerful things. And I do think, both as technology companies and media and entertainment companies, we are really keen to partner deeply to ensure that we inspire 1 billion Indians through the power of sports every day. So thank you for your thoughts, and really energized by the ideas that you shared with us.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. Grateful. Thank you.